Good morning, Web Spiders. This nice backpack was left on Mr. Richard's bus this morning, bus 145. Haven't looked inside to see who the owner is. There might be an agenda in there with a name on it. But if this is yours, you can come to the office and claim it after announcements. Just wanted to give you a heads up. And I wanted to talk just real quick about a report that I'm getting almost daily on all of our buses. So I got friends in the studio. They're going to introduce themselves in just a minute. We all know that there are words that we don't use at school. Hopefully you don't use those words ever because they're bad words, okay? Adults can choose to use a bad word. Kids should not be a part of your language, okay? So unfortunately, some of our web spiders are using bad words on the bus. And guys, it empties my bucket because we're supposed to be role models, especially for the younger kids on the bus. And right now you're modeling bad things. Your job and kind of your responsibility as you get older is to make good choices and to do it right. So please don't use words that aren't supposed to be used at school. It's a really, really bad influence to inflict on our little spiders, okay? Just don't do it. Now, if you hear it, I understand that that might upset you a little bit. But can you debug that? Can you debug a bad word? Yeah. If someone says a word they should not, and you know they should not, can you choose to ignore it? Yeah. Can't really walk away from it on a bus, can you? Because you're supposed to stay seated at all times. If they kept doing it, could you use a nice voice and say, it kind of offends me. Please don't say those words around me. My parents, I would get so much trouble if I said anything like that. Then could you say, stop it? You could, couldn't you? And if it didn't end, you could tell your bus driver before you got off the bus that so-and-so continues to use these words that upset you, right? So use those debugging skills, but ignoring it's probably your best bet. And the reason for that is usually when kids are using those kinds of words or doing things, they're trying to get attention. And if you give them attention, like, you shouldn't say that, blah, 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 then they're just like, haha, I got what I wanted. Ignore them. Just ignore them, and I bet you it'll go away. Okay, thank you for that. Because today is the 14th. It is IREAD Day for third graders. Now, this is the coolest part about IREAD. Third graders, you just took the first round of I-STEP, which, whew, your brain really had to think. You're going to have to really think today on IREAD. But you're going to find that if you really take your time, you've got this. You're going to rock it. IREAD is really testing basic reading test skills, and I know that you all can do well on that. So you're going to rock that IREAD test. That's going to be awesome. Today is the 14th, and we do have one birthday. So Kayla Sakaraz, who's in Miss Machino's kindergarten classroom. Happy birthday, Kayla. Come to the office sometime today and get a birthday backpack charm. I've got some DI members with me. Do you guys know what DI stands for?
Destination Imagination.
Yeah, it's a team. They have to put together, it's all kid driven. They have to come up with their idea. They have to build all their props, and they go and compete at a regional competition, which they just did very well at. So tell us who you are and who your homeroom teacher is.
My name is Kaiser Cruiser, and I'm from Miss Mulgar's class. I'm Zoe Walker. I'm Ava Otton from Miss Mulgar's class. I'm Glenn Fletcher, and I'm from Mrs. McGuire's class. I'm Georgia Carr, and I'm from Mrs. McGuire's class. I'm Isabella Soper, and I'm from Miss McGuire's class.
And they all just recently competed on the DI team. And there's one more member?
Yeah.
Bella. Okay, Bella. And Mrs. Whitaker, who used to be our librarian, is still their coach, even though she's the librarian at Custer Baker. And they just represented the web really well. So let's talk about flexibility for just a second. Let's see. Let's see if I've got some other examples. I've read all these. I should have been a little more. Oh, here we go. Your grandma promised to take you to the skate park, but it's raining. She says maybe you could go bowling instead, but you really want to go to the skate park, and you don't really like bowling because the ball is heavy, and the ball always goes in the gutter, and you don't score a very good score. What would you do if you chose flexible thinking? Any ideas? Elaine?
I'd be like, well, at least I could get out of the house.
Awesome. I love that. What if you chose rigid thinking? Popsicle stick.
You'd complain and say, I want to go to a skate park now.
Yeah, that would be, and then you'd end up doing nothing probably because you'd annoy grandma and then you'd probably get in trouble and you guys would be restricted from everything and then you'd stay home. So that you're right. Flexible thinking, go bowling. See if you could order some nachos. Make it a great time, right? Okay. Rigid thinking, throw a fit, cry, say, if you can't go skating, I don't want to do anything. You guys have never said anything like that, have you? Oh, that's rigid thinking. So really try to make yourself more flexible. Go with the flow, so to speak. And today during the day, try to go with the flow. Like I really messed up your week this week by making Marvelous Monday on Wednesday, on Webtastic Wednesday, but we have to be flexible about it. Sometimes our schedule changes. And so far I haven't heard any complaints, so that's good. Bothered a few kids a little bit, but they're now as we're getting closer to Wednesday, they're like, okay, we're still going to have our free time or whatever. So it's good. Okay. At this time, stand, push your chair in. Let's have a moment of silence. Miss Ava, I'm going to get you to hold this flag, but before I do, just a reminder that we have bus evacuation drills today. It should not affect our early bus because they are a Needham bus and they already had their bus evacuation. They'll leave at the regular time, but we probably will load our buses about 2:10, the same time as early bus today for our bus evacuation drill. Okay, you guys ready for the pledge? Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. You guys have anything for the good of the cause or anything we need to share? It's all good? Going to be a terrific Tuesday? Can I have smiles, please? All right, there we go. I'm like, whoa, this is a rough crowd over here. Here we go. Here's the creed.
I am a member of the Webb family. I take pride in myself and my school. I promise to do these things every day. I will only say positive things about myself and others. I will respect and trust others. I will insist on giving my personal best. I will discuss and listen actively. I will expect and give truth and honesty. I am glad to do my part to make Webb School a place where everybody is somebody special.
I want you to make it a great day in the Webb, but before I say goodbye, how do you become a member of DI? We didn't even talk about it.
You have to sign up.
And you try out. Now, what grades can be in DI?
Third and fourth.
Okay, so if you're a second grader, this is something you can look forward to next year. If you're a third grader, it's something you can look forward to next year. But there'll be a sign up and a tryout, and you try out for DI. And as we get closer to that next year, we'll do some information on the announcements and let you know what it's all about. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, make it a great day in the Webb. Make sure you are
doing it right.
Good luck, third graders. Rock that IREAD test.